Hi, Circuit Riders. We are in Texas. We have been in Texas for the past few days at another campground near in San Antonio. But we just hung out there in the rig and worked and, got caught up in some things. We didn't do any exploring, so I didn't film anything there. But now we are at kind of a unique harvest host way in southwestern Texas in the Chihuahua Desert. We're very close to the Mexico border here. This place is called Desert Gardens Oasis, and it is quite a ways off of I-10. We drove for about 20 miles south to get in here, and we are really in the middle of the desert. This is a big 40-acre kind of, I guess it's a artist-run garden community something, and they just opened it up for Harvest Host. So there's several rigs here, and we were able to get our big rig in here. Now, I would caution you, if you're thinking about this Harvest Host and you have a large fifth wheel, the desert dirt road is long and a little bumpy. So we did make it back here, but if I had a choice between this and somewhere else, I might not have chosen to do this big of a drive back into the desert. But anyway, a pretty view, and we're just here for one night. We're going to get going on to New Mexico tomorrow. So thanks for joining us. It really is a beautiful view here in the desert. Nice place for a quick overnight. Well, we have made it to Oliver Lee State Park in New Mexico, right outside of White Sands National Park. And we're just stopping on the way in to fill up our fresh water tank. They've got a dump station and fresh drinking water here. So we're going to make sure that our fresh tank is filled before we go check in here for the next 3 days. Ella, come this way. Come over here. Poor Ella's feeling pretty cooped up. We've been moving pretty fast through Texas here, and there's been some long drive days, so I feel a little bad for her. I think she's getting a little sick of being in the truck. So while we're filling the fresh water, we'll just give her a little outside time. Guys, it's our first state park. We are at Oliver Lee Memorial State Park in New Mexico, and what a gorgeous backdrop. We've had 2 good boondocking spots on this trip.
It's a good upgrade from when we were briefly in Texas, or when we drove through Texas, to be fair.
The boondocking spot in Texas was nice, but this is amazing. Look at these mountains right behind us. I booked this site online. I'll put the link in the description below. And with taxes and fees, it came to $21 a night. So pretty good deal. And I've been nervous to book state parks up until now. This is why this is our first one. I'm always afraid that our rig is too big for state parks, or the online reservation system is confusing. But now I'm getting a little bit of the hang of it. I think we might be using state parks more, especially now that we're set up with all of our boondocking stuff. And as you can see, we have plenty of solar here. In fact, we left our solar plugged into the battery towers while we were driving today, and the towers charged all the way up to 100% by the time we got here, which is wonderful. You know, another thing that has made me nervous in the past about state parks is, what is the cell signal going to be like? But to be honest, most campgrounds don't have great cell signal. But I always think state parks are sometimes in very remote areas, and we need to work. We both need to work and be online for our jobs. Well, at that really remote desert harvest host that we were at yesterday in Texas, our 5G T-Mobile was screaming. I've hardly ever seen speeds that high. 200 down, 30 up. And we're really glad that we invested in the 5G for T-Mobile. We needed it to be up on our main land. That's the best signal that we can get up there, but it's really helping us here in the Southwest and all over the country as well. Now today in the New Mexico State Park, we have a little bit of AT&T, good enough to work, but hardly any T-Mobile at all, any 5G. And I think it might be because we're right next to this big mountain. Could be that the T-Mobile towers just can't get over the mountain. But at least we have good enough to work with. So it's been a good experiment with us having different carriers and seeing what works where.
So this is the bottom loop of our state park campground, and then barely beyond it is dispersed free camping. Like, is it BLM?
Yeah.
So that's all free camping, like we've done in In Joshua Tree, we've done that.
So we were surprised to find this BLM dispersed camping right down the road from the state park. We are still glad we're in the state park though, because even though we're paying 21 bucks a night, we've got access to water and dump station. The dump station is only for people who are camping there, and we feel it's a little more safe. It's behind a gate. There's security and camp hosts there that are watching out. Some of them came over to talk to us and make sure that we were in the right spot and that we were who we said we were.
And just saying hi and greeting us. They're very friendly and fun, nice.
But if you prefer the free dispersed camping, it's right here down the road. Then you can see our state park up the hill there. Hey, just so you know, at the White Sands National Park Visitor Center, there's plenty of parking for RVs. There's a lot of people parked over there. This momentum just pulled in, so you could just drive in here for the afternoon if you're passing by. So White Sands Dunes is the largest gypsum sand field in the world. That's why the color of the sand is so white, because it's made of gypsum and not from quartz like regular sand is. A lot of these signs say White Sands National Monument. So I asked the ranger inside what's the difference between the monument and the park, and she said it used to be called a national monument since 1933, but it just became a national park in 2019, and they haven't switched over all the signs yet. It's almost sunset and the park is closing in about 45 minutes, so we're doing the Intradunes Boardwalk hike. We love boardwalks. I'd rather walk on a boardwalk than struggle through the sand, to be honest. But wow, what a beautiful dune drive we just did, a dune loop drive way back cool. Into the dunes. There's lots of people hiking the sand there, and some kids have sleds that you can sled down them. We saw some dogs playing in the sand, so looks like a really cool recreational area. Hey, we came back to White Sands today to do this little 1 mile loop hike, Dune Life Nature Trail, so we can actually walk on some sand today. How do we get to the trail? Oh, over here. I think we follow the blue markers. Oh yeah. Wow. So fine. And cool too. 60. The air feels a little cool, but the sun is so warm.
It's about 59, 60 degrees.
And I'm sure the sun bouncing off all this white sand makes it warmer here too.
Very cool.
Yes, it is very worthwhile. It's a good length. 1 mile is a good length for us.
Yeah, and I'm even talking about coming back to the southwest. Because as we said before, it wasn't our favorite stretch so far, but there's some real gems in through here that we enjoy.
Yeah.
This is somewhat a new experience for us here. I'm glad we found it.
In the visitor center yesterday, we watched a great video. All the national parks always have great informational videos. Don't skip them if you're ever, tempted to just go on to the hiking trail or do the scenic drive or whatever, because the movies will give you a good background of why the park is what it is.
And sometimes they're a little bit out of date, so it also gives you a sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, that's true. They're usually from the early 90s.
There's sometimes a little retro.
But it was saying that there is one of the unique things about white sands. Sorry, my eyes are watering because of the wind. One of the unique things about white sands is that there is a lot of water that is not too deep underneath these sand dunes. So it makes the sand more densely packed, and that's why the dunes don't like just blow away like a regular sand mountain would. That a few feet or even sometimes a few inches underneath this sand is a lot of water. And it even looks like waves flowing down the mountain when you kick the sand a little bit. Very cool.
Keep going.
Yeah, the sign back there said it was a 1 mile hike that should take 1 hour. And I thought, well, maybe that's because you're trudging through sand, but this is so densely packed that we're just walking like regular. But Jason just said the reason it's an hour is because you have to keep stopping and looking at everything. That's probably true. The closest town to White Sands National Park is the town of Alamogordo, New Mexico. And in the town of Alamogordo, New Mexico, is the world's largest, can you guess? If you said pistachio, you got it right. Congratulations. This is the home of the world's largest pistachio, McGinn's PistachioLand. We are definitely going to check it out. Pistachios must be a big business here because there are 3 major ranches, stores, wineries, whatever, within 5 miles of here that are all featuring pistachios. Oh, they have a winery in here too. I wonder if they have pistachio wine.
Hard to...
You can only put out 1 or 2.
There we go.
Wow, what a beautiful drive up through the mountains. We are coming up to the little town of Cloudcroft, but on the way is the Apple Boy store, what's it called?
It's on the side.
Old Apple Barn. Old Apple Barn. They got this cute statue, big boy statue here that they made into an apple. But one of those just cute little mountain gift store, bakery, you know, everything you could want. Very cute. The town of Cloudcroft, New Mexico is about 8,700 feet in elevation. Quite a bit of snow up here and a beautiful drive up here. It's the sign leading into the town said 4-season playground. This is very interesting.
It's camping up here. Tall timber cabins. It's like we've gone to another state or another season.
Wow. Jason saw a couple of elk run across the side road earlier.
Like a dozen.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was quite a big herd.
I didn't see it because I was driving.
Off to the side. I just happened to look down the road right,
we'll
right
keep
the right
an eye
time.
out for some.
Nobody's.
A little bunny hill.
Nobody's going. I mean, it's bigger than a bunny hill, but it's definitely more of a tit mountain.
Wow.
Huh, it's not running at all. Wonder if it's just on weekends now.
see White Sands National Park over there, and the military missile range is also there. This white that goes along the mountains is White Sands.
That's from the water running off the mountains, bringing the gypsum out of there.
Yep.
And then makes the lake or deposits there, evaporates and leaves behind the white gypsum that becomes the sand dunes.